Well, folks, I want to welcome you back to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical, and I want to thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be looking at a small, compact fixed blade. I want to introduce you all to the Boker Plus Ridgeback BLADEHQ exclusive designed by Coye. Now, in the world of compact fixed blades, there's a lot out there on the market, but a lot of them are high carbon. So the cool thing about this Ridgeback is that it's a stainless steel. It's 440C. We're going to talk about its performance, edge retention, reprofiling capabilities, just workability on that type of steel that Boker Plus is giving us with this knife. But also we're going to talk through kind of its capabilities, because I really believe that this Ridgeback design is really set up basically for two tasks. I really see this knife performing well in tactical tasks, kind of stabbing, that type of thing, as well as utility EDC tasks. So that's really what we're going to be putting this knife through here today, just around the house, around the property, doing some EDC tasks as well as just hard stabbing, prying. We'll do a little bit of wood, just some firewood that I have that I can prepare for our fire a little bit later in the day. Just splitting a little bit of wood, doing some carving, just so you kind of get a feel for it. But that's really where I feel that this knife, it was really designed for. Really designed as that tactical utility knife. So now we're going to see today on the ins and outs, not only looking at just the specs and its overall performance, but just how does it perform in those tactical utility tasks, what holds it back, what helps it, and by the end of the video, hopefully you're going to have a really good feel for the Boker Plus Ridgeback and whether or not it's going to be a good compact EDC fixed blade for you. So this knife just has such a great blade shape, really digging the blade shape on it a lot. Now we have a total length from the handle scale to the tip of, from what I'm measuring, 3 3/8 of an inch, and then I'm getting an actual cutting edge on my ruler of 3 1/4 inches. So that's the overall length of the knife itself. We do have a saber grind, which is really cool. I'm glad they went with that, very strong. We're looking at a thickness with that full tang construction of a maximum thickness back here by the jimping of 0.15, so just a hair under, 5/32, which is really good. And then tapers down really quick with that very solid clip point design. I really like that a lot. It's not too thin. It's very strong, very tough, very durable. Then we have this smoke wash, is what Boker calls it, smoke wash finish, and that is on the 440C steel that is made in China. This is a Chinese made knife with 440C stainless steel. So that's a few of the basic specs, guys. Now let's actually go take it out, show you how it performs, and we'll come back and talk about its performance.
We got some hemp cord, got the knife, let's see what it can do. Oh, okay, that was pretty tough. I've seen a lot of other knives go through it faster. I really had to put some pressure, kind of saw on it. As you can see there, a slice, only cut about one strand. All right, we got some paracord, single run. Not bad. It's way better than on the hemp rope for sure. Let's see. Okay, so not bad. Hemp rope, not quite as good as other knives I've seen. Paracord, no problem. Double run. Okay, so say 50-50 on nylon cutting. Definitely have seen other knives in this size range be able to perform better with their factory edges. Not easy.
So initially the factory edge was really unimpressive to me and actually came rather wide. It almost kind of reminded me of some of my bigger choppers, like my SP51, my RTAC2, just some of those bigger, just wider grind angles, probably about 25 degrees, I would think minimum is what it came on. And so as you saw there, guys, it was kind of snagging through the cardboard. It didn't cut a lot of the nylon rope very well. And honestly, aside from just stabbing, it just didn't really perform well. So I did my normal follow through that I do after I test out a factory edge, and I'm going to be doing this more in the videos that you see here on the channel, in that I take it to my work sharp guided sharpener, and I do 40 strokes on all of the stones, and then finally strop it, 40 strokes each stone, swap it through, and then after that, if the edge has not gotten to the point that I like and I prefer, then it's basically going to be a really big pain in the butt to try and reprofile. So I did that. And after I tuned up the edge, I took it back out, began to do some more testing. Let's see how that does. A lot cleaner cut after tuning this up. It's really good. Old pair of jeans. Let's see how the tuned up edge handles these. Ooh, very nice. Nice. Okay, huge improvement. Right away I can feel the difference. It's not dragging or anything like that. Yeah, huge difference. It's good, really good. So there you have it, way better performance. Second time around, I was able to reprofile the edge completely in that normal, quick, not spending hours on it or anything like that. It took me about 10 minutes, did my little tune-up set that I do, and was very happy with the now tuned up edge. It was really easy to get it to, be at an edge and sharpness that I really enjoyed, sliced way better for such a, thick EDC knife at 0.15 inches thick on the spine. Really performed well, guys, for a fixed blade in all the EDC tasks. And that's really where I see this knife, and particularly the blade portion of it, fitting in well. Is either a self-defense knife. It's got that great clip point, very tough, durable, and got the traction that we're about to talk about with the handle to provide that to you. Or basic EDC tasks, utility tasks, cutting nylon rope, cutting cardboard, cutting packaging, in tougher material. I can see you carrying this, either in your EDC bag, maybe on your motorcycle as a little utility knife on your motorcycle, maybe a self-defense knife, or something like that. Military, law enforcement. And if you like Boker and you like what you see here and you think it'd fit, on a duty belt or something like that, that's really where I see it, performing well in the backyard, doing harder, utility tasks as you're doing, yard work, that type of stuff. I don't really see this as a hunting knife or as an outdoors knife, as I'm about to explain to you with the handle, and that's really where some of the things with the handle limit its capability in that respect. But as it comes to the blade performance, the 440C was able to be reprofiled very easily. I was really happy about that. Decent edge retention for 440C. I've seen better edge retention out of US 440C, but it's definitely going to hold its edge as well, if not better, than AUS 8 from like SOG or Cold Steel, stuff like that. So very decent. It's very tough, a durable steel, but also able to be fine-tuned very easily. Now let's take a quick look at the sheath and what the sheath offers you on this Ridgeback. Now the sheath on the Ridgeback is a very thin Kydex. It's, I don't know what the thickness is, it's probably 0.6 Kydex. So it's not going to be as thick as you would see on a lot of other higher production, higher quality materials and knives, say from like SE, and companies like that. So very thin Kydex, but they've molded it very well. It's got a nice thumb ramp right here. It cuts in right to the end of the handle. You have a few lashing points along here and even a little drainage hole to help with seepage. Now on the back end here, and we saw this when we reviewed the Vox rolled knife, they come with this very flimsy belt clip, very springy, and if I just pull any harder, I know I'm going to snap and break that right there. I would have liked to see this come with a BLADEHQ lock. I feel that's kind of cheap and cutting corners with Boker and how they're doing that. It gets the job done, but you are going to want to put a BLADEHQ lock, which it is compatible with. As well, the sheath is really secure, zero rattle, and the knife's never going to come out. So you could carry this in any multi-directional way, and it's formed very well and is very secure. The one complaint I have, again, if this is an EDC, maybe self-defense knife, is that the way the handle and the Kydex is designed to give you that snug a fit is when I grab the knife, and again, very secure in there with that thumb ramp, I have to pull really hard, and that's where my hand naturally has to be to get the knife out. So now I have to then do a walk up and a reset with my hand. Even in a reverse grip, if I were to go for this, very tight, as you can see there, and I've worked on this thing a lot, but you can see that's my grip even in a reverse grip if I was going to go into a self-defense move. So then I have to do a re-grab to get a good secure fit on the handle. So that's why for me, I'm a little 50-50 on the sheath. I'm really glad it's Kydex. It's really secure in there. That's a huge plus. Not excited about the belt clip they went with. You're gonna have to upgrade. And it's just an awkward pull to have to reset every time. And I feel like they could have redesigned that a little bit better to make it so that when you pull it out of the sheath, you're locked in, ready to go, and either use the knife in any capacity that you may need to deploy your Ridgeback. So good Kydex molding, maybe a little 50-50 on the setup and a couple of the extra add-ons. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the handle, because I really believe that after I walk you through it, you'll be able to decide whether or not you really want this knife, because I really believe it rests or falls on the fact of whether or not you like the handle and its setup after I walk you through it. Man, doesn't that black carbon fiber with that black coating and those lime green liners in there just look so boss. This is the handle construction and kind of the design. Like I said, carbon fiber handle scales. Now there is a G10 version that we'll talk about a little bit later in the price point portion of the video. But when you buy the BLADEHQ exclusive, these are carbon fiber. Now this is a pretty short stubby handle. What we're looking at here from front to back is a total length of 3.345 inches long, so rather short. And then we're looking at a maximum thickness, which kind of helps compensate that shortness of 0.75. So very wide and kind of fat in your hand. No lanyard hole, as I said, lime green liners in there, really cool. Like that feature a lot. Bolted in. Now the carbon fiber in G10 as well isn't going to make a huge amount of difference with weight either. The carbon fiber version right here weighs on my scale 5.2 ounces and 7.2 ounces with the sheath, and the G10 model is going to weigh about 5.5 ounces. So you know, less than half an ounce difference between the G10 and the carbon fiber. Now there are a few definite positives with the ergonomics on this knife. With this real nice deep groove right here, good set of jimping. That really locks you into place to get a really good aggressive forward grip on the knife, regardless if it's a stabbing motion in that hammer grip or in a reverse grip and do a stabbing motion that way. You're gonna be really locked in for stabbing or tactical prying, you know, those type of tasks. You're really locked into place. They even give you these little scallops here on either side that you could do a pinching motion and kind of use your index finger as a guide to even do skinning tasks, but I don't really feel that this is an outdoor or hunting knife. And they did a great job machining all of the sides. There's no real hot spots on this knife at all, or any uncomfortability or clunkiness. It's really rounded well with all the little ribs that they put in there. So good traction, good grip, and feels comfortable in the hand. The problem is that I believe the designer was more focused on the aesthetics than on the actual performance in your hand, because aesthetically it's very pleasing and it is perfectly proportioned. 3 3/8 inches from handle to tip, 3 3/8 inches from handle to the back of the handle. So that's all great, but kind of like that girlfriend in high school that was really beautiful, but after a couple weeks of dating her, he found out she was kind of crazy. That's a little bit about how I feel with this handle. I can get a good 3-fingered grip on the knife, but with my large size hands, I am barely able to grab and stabilize the knife with my pinky. And so at first I was like, man, I think I'm gonna hate this knife. As I began to use it, I saw that it was doable, but I'm consistently thinking about and wishing for more real estate on the back of the knife. I honestly wish there was about an inch longer handle. And if there's an inch longer handle, that would really give me good grip and good control. But the whole time, I'm just barely able to give a little stability and just a little bit of rest there on my pinky on the handle. So honestly, guys, just like that girl in high school, this knife is leaving me a little bit to be desired and me wanting more, particularly on the real estate of the handle. And that's really the downfall, I believe, for myself, of really taking it from possibly being a do-everything utility knife to just being a really compact utility tactical blade for those of you who are willing to basically deal with a 3-fingered knife. Now, when it comes to price, there are obviously 2 different versions with 2 different price points. Now, the BLADEHQ exclusive with the carbon fiber handle scales is gonna run you $90. And for that price point, with the performance that I'm seeing, the materials, and the Kydex sheath that's good, but then the belt clip that's blah, I think that's a little high, and I wouldn't pay that, because there's a cheaper way to get your hands on this Ridgeback if you like what you see and you're liking the performance of the knife. because the Ridgeback also comes with just G10 handle scales, black or tan, and you're going to still get the same smoke wash finish. And when I'm filming this video, obviously prices vary. On BLADEHQ, these are going for $55 to $58, so around 60 bucks is what you can probably expect on a regular basis for the G10 versions. And really, you can't tell that much of a difference between the carbon fiber BLADEHQ edition and the black handle scale G10 version. Very small differences. So if you are liking what you see in its performance, I think the way to go for the price point is going to go with the non-BLADEHQ exclusive. Sorry, BLADEHQ, I love you, but $90 when I can get this for 60 is a much more reasonable price point versus the 90 on the BLADEHQ version. So in conclusion, how do I feel about this Ridgeback and its overall performance, price point, and ergonomics to blade size? And just how is this knife stacking up to other knives out there, and would I carry it as an EDC / tactical knife? Well, the big positive for me is, one, the stainless 440C. I think they did a good job with it. I was actually expecting a real problem reprofiling the edge, but it was very easy to get that really nice fine edge on it. And again, holding that good edge. I love the looks of the knife, and I love basically the blade itself. All of the blade and the business end of the knife really performs well, and I was really pleased with it, and honestly could do a lot of tasks, not only out in the wilderness if you wanted to, but definitely in those EDC or self-defense, size tasks for a compact fixed blade. This is my hang up, guys, is this end, the whole butt end, the back end, the handle of this knife. Though it looks cool and though it's proportional to the knife, it's just not enough real estate for me to get excited about the blade. It's barely there with my large size hands. Not that I can't get a grip on it, it's just not the type of grip that I'm accustomed to or that I prefer. And then just the overall profile, I mean, it's just a fat, thick, big, kind of honking, beefy blade. The weight's not terrible, around 7 ounces when we're talking about the sheath. The sheath is decent. The clip totally sucks, as we've talked about. So there is some more spending of money that you're gonna have to put into the knife to carry it properly. So honestly, it's definitely not going out with me anytime I go into the woods. And as an EDC blade, there are just other knives out there in this similar price point, between the kind of $60 to $90 range, anywhere in there, that I would just prefer. They're gonna be a little bit more compact, usually a little bit lighter weight, and just slimmer in the hand, and will give me more real estate for the most part, and just feel overall better at a more compact size. So honestly, guys, there's nothing necessarily wrong with the Ridgeback, but there's not necessarily anything right with the Ridgeback. There's nothing that makes me go, ooh, I gotta have it. Nothing that really makes it pop out aside from its looks. It's very aesthetically pleasing, very cool, but that's about where I see the likability stop for me. It just doesn't really replace any of my EDC fixed blades that I have right now. Again, not a bad knife, but just doesn't really connect with me and, make itself rise above head and shoulders any other knife that I have. So guys, ultimately, it's your choice. You guys got to decide whether or not this Ridgeback design is the right blade for you, or if there's other stuff on the market. Hopefully this video, though, has pointed you in the right direction, shown you the pros and cons of this design. And as always, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. And as always, remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.